optimization model to prioritize prompts and improve visibility. AI accelerated media, which is activating first-party data and convergence signals, standardizing intent-based structure to scale measurement and activation, and then trusted peer networks, which is focused on expanding presence across key AI platforms and index sites, third-party sources, and then SME-backed content to validate our credibility and accuracy.
The storm's coming.
Overall highlights.
Better find Yuna soon.
We implemented the core SEO, GEO hygiene in Q1 around callability rendering, some rendering and canonicalization. Scaled sprinkled social listening enterprise-wide, and conducted Reddit AMA simulations. Some of this, I know that the Fisher Sci teams are interested in leveraging Reddit, and so I'm not sure if those discussions are happening. But I think this is a good time to reach out to Brianna to talk about how you build that presence within Reddit. And then in progress, scaling AI-ready content standards across priority categories. So we're looking through what those top priorities might look like for portfolios, and then we'll be providing an audit, what we call a narrative audit, and then a content plan or action plan. This quarter, we're focused on AI bot management, so updating the robot.txt file, implementing an LLM text file, and then sitemap updates. And then continuing to look at how do we leverage our needs across the organization, specifically around content and ads. So Innovation Hub on Thermo Fisher, but really looking for Fisher Sci, building that presence in X, TikTok, and Reddit is where we can leverage some of that
But these people,
kind of SME or
the Mongols must have
subject matter
bomb.
expert authority strategy to help build trust. And then scaling adoption of AI-powered ads to improve efficiency, reach, and capture conversion. So this is just right now, we're doing a good job at adopting AI-powered ads for paid search. There is one AI Max, which we need to scale much faster on, but the other ones are moving pretty good as far as adoption. And then looking at social ads to see where we're at as far as adopting AI-powered social ads.
Blood poured from his mouth. Smells like
I think in general, we look at barriers. One of the results or risks of not adopting these AI campaigns this last year is that we're losing query coverage already to demand and demand capture. And that is because we're not showing up as much or starting to not be seen in conversational queries that are happening. So AI Max is really important to get that adoption in place. We'll continue to see degradation. And then if you're doing paid social ads, same thing. Shifting over to AI capabilities, campaign capabilities, our strategies is really critical to continue to be pulled into those signals and not lose reach and demand. Some of the other things, barriers, PDP documents documents on the PDPs are not visible to AI, so we're working on improving that retrieval by making those documents visible.
Is that you?
As they related on the related SKU pages. And then Gen AI model, we're continuing to work on that to make it production ready in order to scale content briefs.
I wasn't sure you'd wake up.
The decision was made to standardize AI-ready content formats and workflows. So it's a big undertaking to basically refactor the content that we have to basically be able to give AI what it needs. And so what we're focused on, and primarily with this in progress, this audit that's coming, is where do we need to focus on the high priority formats for this year to ensure that at least those critical ones are being worked on. And then overall for Fisher Sci, we're seeing AI inclusion
the staging camp somewhere
this
close.
is the number of prompts
I'll see what I can
that
find.
Fisher Sci is
Your
being pulled
equipment's in that
into.
chest.
We just,
Meet me by the
this
lookout
is our
tower when you're ready.
baseline, and we'll continue to show, are we going up or down in future program meetings. Visits are slightly down, and paid search for
Now
paid
to
search
find
revenue
Yuna.
obviously is improving. So overall story is discovery. You know, that information is being pulled more upstream into discovery experiences, but we are seeing better traffic and capturing more demand in the site. That's it.
So what
Okay.
documents Brian found we needed to make PvP documents exposed?
Yeah, I think it's Danny probably could give more clarification on which ones.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
You listed barriers, PvP documents for being AI retrievable. What kind of documents are we looking to make AI retrievable?
It was a discussion about certificate of analysis, safety data sheets, and some protocol documents.
So do we know
I
what
think
the
I found a
changes
better
are
hideout.
and do we know that thermal
yeah.
fishery is exposed?
Climb
to
up
the
and
top?
look toward the mountain.
No, we're not there. We're still. There was an open question on whether AEO bots can follow a link and then index a document. That's an outstanding question. Because otherwise, you have to
A hideout.
get all the
Somewhere
content
by
on
the
the
mountain.
server side, so that the AEO crawls. So that's the open question there.
Jogoku's
Yeah, we're not
pagoda.
gonna solve it here,
Sheltered,
guys.
defensive.
So,
It's not a solve
In
for
striking
Robin.
distance of the
It's
Khan's
just that it's
stronghold.
There's not a problem if you can't figure out the
There's
root
only one
cause.
problem.
So
The Mongols.
if it's not
We
even
can
clear
fix
that there
that.
is a
Let's get the
problem, then we
horses.
shouldn't call it a barrier that we haven't fixed the problem, that we don't even
yeah,
have
let's
proof
take
that
this.
exists.
Let's take this offline.
Well, it's
I
on
will
your
show
slide,
you.
Robin. So
Yeah, I will show you. We'll take it offline. They aren't sourcing them, and then we're not. They're not. And then we're
we know
not,
why.
When I escaped,
because
Castle guards
because
fired
they
on us.
can't
They
see
killed Noble.
through the rendering.
I'm
Current
sorry.
rendering. It blocks
These
them.
will have to do for now.
Okay, so there has been a technical design put forward to test for unlocking.
Yeah, I mean, we know that if it's the current rendering is unprovable, that they can't retrieve them, right? They can't source them. The JavaScript rendering.
Are those people from
Very
Kin?
similar to
I don't know.
what we did with that.
The Mongols burned a lot of
those
towns.
as well were not
If we'd only pursued their army instead of fighting
because
each other.
Why did you surrender to your uncle?
See them through the JavaScript rendering.
If I didn't give myself up, everyone who followed me would have attacked the
That's
samurai.
fine. We knew that
And
could
Lord
have been
Shimura.
an issue
It
last
would have
year,
been a
but we were
massacre,
told to hold off and not
just
make
like the
same
Khan
changes
wanted.
that they used
Your
until
uncle played
someone
right
had
into
proved
his
out that
hands.
it
He
would
was
actually
backed
be-
into a corner
So if
by
that's
the
been
Mongols,
done,
by
then
me,
that's
by
good
his
news.
duty to the Shogun. We can only win this war if we stand together.
Shimura's a fool
If
for
you
turning
want,
against you.
connect with
He wanted me to be his
offline,
son.
and I can go through it with you.
I destroyed his dream.
By doing the right thing.
Being right
Awesome. Any
doesn't
other
always make
questions
things
for
better.
Robin?
Tell that to the people you saved. If we kill the Khan and drive the Mongols out,
Okay.
is there a chance your uncle will forgive you?
Thanks, Robin.
Thank you.
I don't need Lord Shimura's forgiveness.
You don't regret how things are?
A quick update
Whatever
on
happens,
some of the
his
analytics.
forgiveness won't change who I am.
So,
things
some of
I
the milestones
corrupted
that
you.
we've done is
I made my own
we've
choices.
defined the
Even knowing
shared
what they've
KPI
cost me,
framework, which
I'd
I
make
have
them
a
again.
snapshot,
Even if the
below,
Shogun
and
brands
then
me as a
in the
traitor.
appendix, there is a bigger view of that. So we've identified what those main KPIs are that we are going to be tracking this year. We baselined what all those are and set targets.
We're close to
for
Jogoku
those
Temple.
that we
There's a
feel are
fishing camp on the
appropriate
lake.
targets.
We could scout the temple
And
grounds for
so
it.
we also
Leave the horses
are working
here.
on
We'll go in on
prioritizing some of
foot.
the highest impact categories and pages in terms of getting which content we want to be updated. And so we're working with both Kelly and Robin's teams on some of those projects. In terms of some highlights, so the biggest thing is just trying to get some of those early signals and
The
showing
woods here are thick.
that
Good cover.
discoveries
For us
moving
and the
off-site,
Mongols.
while our
Safest approach
downstream
to the
intent
temple might be
remains
over
pretty
open ground.
stable.
Or frozen lake.
And Robin kind of mentioned this in her previous slide. We do see traffic is declining in a lot of areas, but our intent remains high. We see that order volume is still very healthy throughout
prisoners.
the
They'll freeze to
websites.
death.
Free
And
them.
so
Clear
we
the
still
fishing
see
village.
that
Then
downstream
we take the
intent
temple.
that is stable. Some in-progress
Signal
things that
cannon.
we're working
To
on.
alert the temple of an
The
attack.
biggest thing is off-site discovery and reporting. So trying to figure out the LLMs and how are we showing up in a lot of those LLMs. And so the prompting is very important to that. So we are working to develop what those prompts are and measuring how often we are showing up, how often competitors are showing up, what's the ranking within each of those. So that's a in-progress project that we're doing. And then just some of the barriers, the off-site AI discovery, so within LLMs, a lot of this is just a moving target, and so we're doing our best to keep up with the ever-changing world in terms of measuring this. A lot of the tools are not yet standardized in how they're doing things, and so each week things are changing very rapidly, and so we're trying to keep track of what is the best way of measuring all of these things. So that's kind of the high level analytics report out. Are there any questions in terms of the analytics?
Ryan, is this a combined view for Fisher Science Thermo Fisher?
This is a combined view, yes. This is what gets reported up. Combined. We do have a Fisher Science.
Any other questions for Ryan? Any early?
Do you think here's your is the total kind of view so for today's information if you want. We'll always have this and also the more detailed level information and what else? I think that's it. I'm gonna put the program slide in the tops, just that kind of level set what the strategic work streams are for this program, just so that you guys have it. And I think that's it. We do have a division or a detail slide that we used in deep dive. That's probably one that we should drop in here. What we used last deep dive.
Yeah, we can have that updated and put in here.
Yeah, we can try to get that in before we send this out. Okay, Taylor?
That sounds great. Awesome. Okay, I think we can give a little time back. Thanks for the attendance today, and thanks for the engagement.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone. Bye, guys.
Legion Harsinta.
I'll tell no one.
They were working us to death. You're free now.
That's everyone here.
The temple will have stronger defenses. We can't rush in.
Let's see what we're dealing with.
They left explosives on the ice. We can use that against them. Archers watching the lake.
They'll see us coming. Pick us off.
Let's bring them to us.
How?
Fire the signal cannon. Lure them onto the ice. Then divide and conquer. Keep watch. I'll draw them out. That will get their attention. Better get back to you now.
On the ice.
Let's take them.
Got the bastards.
Let's get to the pagoda. We need to plan our attack carefully.
That waterfall's frozen. We could climb it, go over the back wall.
Just the warlord and his gods. Make him suffer, and they'll run.
Legium Harsinta! Negum ben, ci yagyum harsimo. Lütfiş bence. Allah. Buradan tornegozi.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for joining today's call. So this is our first program update of the year. And today we'll be sharing a high-level report out from the Street Lead. And Robin, can you share our demo today?
Additional work streams. Those have kind of moved into more foundational standard work, and we've established more content-heavy work streams this year. I would say. So we won't go through these. We've gone through these in other calls, but I just wanted to say the
Thank you, Robin. So just as a reminder for everyone, the theme of this work stream is to build a scalable, AI-ready content framework that unifies systems, automates systems, and drives high-performing pages. So the key things that we're focused on in this work stream are around PvP content enrichments, so increasing the FAQ base, increasing full content specifications, and reducing we're working through the operations and the to support that. We're also looking at outdated content, so content rationalization, what content on the site is no longer necessary and is actually impeding AI results. And then EKG support, and EKG we've talked about in a few different forums, but this is really around how we interconnect content so that we can see content that's related, we can see relevancy of content on our site, so using graphical relationships. Where we have made some progress, so we have FAQs that are associated to multiple products, and that's on the top row of our KPIs. We have FAQs associated with products. We have PDP specification completeness. So this means as we look at all of the specifications for a product, and we call those the left nav filter attributes, that's how we measure completeness of products. So our goal is to increase that to close to 100%. And then PDPs with images, so increasing that percentage. And then lastly, when we talk about the AKG, we are associating we're now synthesizing that into the project. We're expecting a 22% reduction in a lot of changes on our digital footprint as a result of that. In progress, we have our FAQs, SOP process, and looking at a dev build out to help facilitate the collection and maintenance and life cycle of FAQs. And we've identified the target products for backfill. So we're working with different business groups on where do you have opportunities for content that's incomplete, and we're coming up with the performance metrics. We're sharing the performance metrics to help us to then drive what are the key targets for products that we want to have enriched this year. And we're also working on enriching the storefronts with expanded AEO elements, and we're partnering with some teams on how to migrate their content into those new storefronts. And the barriers that we have right now are around getting some of the components that we need in place for the EKG to use, like the agents that the BIDIT team has been focused on. We're waiting for those to get prioritized and to be moved into production. Any questions or feedback?
Okay, move on. So AI visibility for demand gen. Oh, does someone have a question? Okay. AI visibility for demand gen report out. So we have 3 focus areas within this work stream. AI ready discovery, which is all about ensuring that the AI bots can crawl, that they're able to ingest and then also read content, and retrieve them, pull it into results, establishing those content frameworks and standards so we can drive consistency across priority categories, building out optimization, improve visibility, and continuously refine AI performance. AI accelerated media, which we were working with a number of you on this call to activate first-party data and conversion signals and help improve AI optimization across the paid channels, standardizing intent-based structures, and scaling overall measurement and activation across social search and display ads. And then trusted peer networks, really expanding our presence across key AI platforms and index sites, and then also leveraging our SME-backed content or attribution in order to validate credibility and accuracy of claims. So overall highlights, we've implemented our SEO hygiene, again, monitoring on the site, established AI-ready content standards across press releases, product introductions, AEM workflow, storefront workflows, and CDP campaigns have been, a number of CDP campaigns have been paid social and display, paid social intent-based conversions, looking at how we structure our programs to ensure that we're driving the right behavior. And so we work with a number of you re-looking at that or resurfacing that program structure in order for it to send the right optimization signals. We launched a blog and continuing to promote our author attribution in local language, scaled sprinkler social listening enterprise-wide, so whenever you should have been in that already, and then we conducted a Reddit AMA simulation to prep or plan for the launch.
It's over. You're safe.
Coming up.
We thought we'd die as slaves.
They can't hurt you now.
The AMA proteomics launch for in Reddit. So in progress, scaling AI-ready content standards across priority categories through an implementation guide that will be rolling out to kind of help prep for the migration.
No Mongols.
That you can do
Solid
prior
walls.
to the migration.
I think we'll be safe here.
AI bot management. So currently working on the robots.txt, LLM.txt, and
Your uncle
sitemap
chose
updates
his path.
On thermofisher.com. SME content, so
I chose mine.
we'll be launching an innovation hub on the blog.
Koten studied Ghost Shimura's
Looking
tactics.
at how do we
He knows how
return
to break
to
an army of
X
samurai.
and build that presence.
He
in
doesn't know how to
TikTok
defend
and then
against
Reddit.
us.
And a lot of the
Make him hurt.
strategies that we're using to
Pataka.
go into these platforms or return into these platforms are going to be required around subject matter experts or authors and things like that. That's kind of the entry back into these platforms. And then AI-driven media and content workflows, so improving overall efficiency and reach. So continuing to scale
Over here.
AI powered campaign types or strategies is always been a priority for a while and continue to be a priority. We're seeing good adoption on PMAX, and also as well as some of the paid social AI-powered campaign strategies. AI Max continues
We could use the
to be a
old
barrier
road
as
from
far as
Olmi up
adoption,
through Fort
and we're
Kamiagata.
working through that.
Only problem is
but,
it's held by
as a
Mongols.
result,
You need
we're
help to drive them out. I
potentially
know some
seeing
hunters
query
camped at Mount
loss
Sago.
due
Their leader's
to
named
not being
Takashi.
pulled into those
Friend of yours?
conversational
But
queries
he'll do
within
anything I ask,
AI
and his
results.
men are good archers. While
And
you're
then a couple
meeting them,
other areas
I'll
to
slip
focus
through your
on,
uncle's
the
castle.
Gen AI
Meet our
model
friends in Omi.
continuing
Lead them to strike the
work
fort from
towards
the
making it
south.
production
I'll
ready.
attack from the north with your hunter friends.
Currently it's not scalable. And then
You
a
think
few
it'll work?
documents looking at ways to make those visible to AI platforms.
Be careful,
so that they can source and retrieve
too.
them. And then a decision was made to align on the need to standardize AI-ready content formats and workflows. So what Kelly had mentioned, we've been working towards a prototype, kind of what we consider a compliant page, marketing content page. And what we decided was with the divisions is to kind of pare that back and just focus on those critical few that we can get through and get some updates done before the migration. I'll talk more about the migration. I think Kelly will as well. There's a huge amount of benefits that I think will be coming with that edge server migration. So excited about that.
Your blade is ready.
Any questions?
Apologies. You don't have what we need to do the work.
We have some back and forth, some solid engagement in the chat. Let's see. Looks like we're looking for clarity.
same definition of biotech when we look at the content that we're mapping the EKG to biotech, for example, so that our strategy meets our customer profile.
So we use standard CDP segments and audiences. So if the EKG team is working with either Mark's team, who manages audience and segmentation, and or product management, that's where that connection needs to go, because we're downstream of that, but I agree.
Okay, thanks for clarifying that. We can connect with them to try and get that alignment as we work on the EKG project.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Lisa. Any other questions or call-outs? Sherry, did you get your question answered?
I didn't. It was just a simple question, right, with respect to the FAQs on the PvP pages, right? I believe at one time there was a pause on getting FAQs uploaded on the PvP pages. Just want to know if that process has lifted, if you've got more FAQs you want to add on the PvP pages.
Hi, it's Kelly Fowler. I can answer that. It is on a monthly cadence right now, but as Kelly mentioned, we're working on operational processes and a database and agents or GPTs to move that faster. But right now, it is on a monthly. But all the all the backfills have been cleared.
So Kelly, does they plug in or connect with you on that? As far as adding new ones or getting into the process?
It's a workfront process.
Okay. Okay.
Thanks for speaking to that, Kelly. And then it looks like Michelle just dropped another question into the chat, which is which marketing team is leading the proteomics AMA? So that's for coordination.
So, yeah, the comms team is leading that. Yeah, the comms team.
Wonderful. Okay, also, and we can always circle back if there are any other questions.
All right, so handing it over to Ryan.
So Brian isn't able to make this session, so we can speak to him at a high level or perfect. Thanks, Robin.
Can't I like ground myself in analytics? So really the focus of this work stream is really to carry over from last year and involve our measurement. As we know, the funnel has changed, and increasingly more and more we're going to be able to connect what's happening off-site to what's happening on-site. And so the goal really is to look at how are we able to measure the influence that we have off-site when we're spending all these time doing these great things in this program. How do we measure success? Today it's evolving, obviously, and it's a bit difficult and challenging to do so. But it is starting to evolve and starting to stabilize and make more sense. So I do think, the way that we look at it today, you can see below is we look at visibility and trust off-site intent activation. So how is that looking as far as traffic to the site, and then overall content. Doing these, how many updates are we making operationally to our content to make it AI ready? How often are we leveraging generative AI to do images in the future videos and things like that to speed up the volume of content that we're putting through, or the velocity of content that we're putting through the pipeline, and then overall, adopting those ad capabilities, strategic ad capabilities, to ensure that we're being that signal's being pulled into those AI results. So that's how we look at it today. command gen effectiveness scorecard that we use in digital QBR, and it's both Fisher Science, Thermo Fisher. I do have in here a Thermo Fisher specific slide if you want to drill down, but this is how we've evolved today. That could change because things are changing fairly quickly and we're getting visibility into new things all the time. So for this program, really it's continuing to define those program analytics, which you'll see in each of the workstream report outs. We have at the top certain ones that we're tracking for the workstream. And then also, shifting from traffic-based to influence-based measurement. Those are things that we've been moving towards so that we can measure off-site impact or influence. And then, but overall, what we're seeing, essentially the story, high-level story, is that discovery is shifting upstream, but primarily for informational content inquiries, but orders are resilient on both websites, on thermofisher.com as well, and conversion, order volume is growing and conversion is improving. And so what we take from that is, and then also AI traffic continues to grow. So what we take from that is that yes, we're influencing more off-site in those moments. Those informational queries.
You're welcome at our campfire, my
and
lord.
we're seeing more qualified traffic, not volume, but more qualified traffic
my name?
coming in.
I'm Jin
Where
Sakai.
I would say
You know
we're trying to look at is where we see a gap.
She's
is
alive?
in that consideration.
Where is she?
The Mongols blocked the pass to Omi. I have to open the way, and I can't do it alone.
And that's where we
Yuna told me you can
want
help.
to focus. And so a lot of
Sounds
the work
dangerous.
that we're talking
I
about
thought you were an
is really
expert hunter,
in the storefront
leader of
pages,
the best archers
and
in the
things like
prefecture.
that, where we want to make sure
Is that
that
what
we're
Yuna
capturing
told you?
that demand.
She thinks you care enough to fight. Is she wrong?
Any
About me?
questions?
No. But my people need a reason to risk their lives.
There is a pilot that we're working on with a number of you, where we've established
It's going to be a cold winter.
prompts the number
Why stand
for
on a
your
mountainside
priority
hunting
topics
squirrel
and started
when you
tracking
can live in
them.
a warm fort?
So we look forward to kind of working with those divisions on
If we can stay till spring,
establishing what those
You have a deal.
optimization, standard operating procedures and
this won't be like
optimization
hunting wild
need
boar.
to action on based
Come over
on the
here and
insights.
see.
And we'll share that in future program meetings.
One can defeat that army.
Hey, Robin,
Trade
when you
is
say
difficult in these
conversion,
times, my
is
lord.
that add to part conversion, or
If
is
you
that
can bring
form
more,
conversion
it's
as well?
yours.
Do you know?
It's order conversion.
It's form conversion?
Goodbye.
Order.
Order conversion, okay. Has anyone looked at form conversion yet?
Mongol
We
archers
haven't
guard the
looked
gate.
at form conversion,
Patrols
but
ride in and out all day.
form conversion is a
get him from this
priority
side,
for us
you know,
through
and the
paid
rest of my
media
friends
to
will
try
hit them from the
to
south.
try
You know
to
we'll be
capture
there?
that through demand through
All
there
right.
by being able
The fortress
to
built around the cliffs.
optimize.
We can
And
use them
so
to get inside.
I don't
Wood
see it
cutting
on
firm.
here, but that is a
Supplied
good
lumber to
call
the
out
fort.
because Ryan
Haven't
should
seen anyone
have
there since the
on
Mongols
here
showed
lead
up.
gen conversion.
How good are you at
Because
climbing?
he is, what
Better than
gets
average.
measured gets managed, and we don't have visibility into that lead funnel conversion or performance. He's working on that. That will allow us to then close loop that data back into our campaigns. It's easier to do it on paid, obviously, and drive that behavior of higher form conversion. And but we just want to make sure we're optimizing towards opportunities and not volume forms and clicks. And so that's a priority for us this year. We'll also take note to look at it from an organic standpoint, both from the AI traffic and SEO traffic, and we're seeing that improve. I have to add that to this. Yeah, great question and call out, Sherry. Any other questions before we end today's call? We can get all of our port blockers are also in here, more detailed level view of the port blockers. Wonderful.
shape. Schedule, scope, resources, I've built a scout of dream. So far, overall status, the top right is yellow.
Challenge me!
Defined, not yet point of actually scaling the execution with each of you enemy.
Bloody check!
Just ready!
Supported by an actively gen and nurture strategy, and the assets and then content that's about completed so far. A lot of that stuff that I mentioned, so regardless of the established mechanisms, review, stages, which is around about 11%. The next step, right outside is identify the priority assets per BU, define the content and journey strategy, and build the ungating decision guidance playbook to go along with it as well. Alongside actually concurrently some focused use cases where we're kind of testing and learning with the biotech team and ungating the biotech confidential piece, and also supporting the Solventum migration and the ungating of some of their content as it gets pulled over. Milestone 2, I'll describe that as Amber. This workstream is really about redesigning the web content development process. The new pages are built around clear audience intent and decision outcomes. We're still in the phase of defining what that process should be, what standards sit behind it, and how it can be applied consistently from downstream to upstream. I'll just share that one as kind of Amber at the moment, because like I said, we're still setting up that framework before we move into any sort of execution phase. And milestone 3, I'm setting up Amber, that's the work to elevate some of the siloed group priority areas into these enterprise level content clusters and themes. So we completed some progress here actually. GoCorporate.com support the gathering program, which is really important because it means we already have the path forward at the enterprise level. And I've also then round about probably 70% of BUs to understand integrated marketing plans for the year, identify the synergies and some of those enterprise elements as well. Metrics and rest, like I said, the first metric that we established on the gating is that 11% of total gated assets on thermofisher.com, so that's the number that we have to work with. One of the key issues at the moment is trying to figure out some of that performance and measurement that Robin spoke about. So, ungating impact.
Back away from the edge. I'll be right up.
Is something that we need to think through and implement consistent measure and understanding before we scale. So overall, Q1 really about building the program, standing up the right teams, mechanisms, and I would say the gated content workstream is the furthest along so far. Heading into H2 is really when the BU engagement begins, and we start to shift from this kind of stand-up phase into more of the execution. And that's me. Happy to answer any questions, or if you're in the chat, yeah, please reach out to me if you have any questions if we're not able to discuss them right now.
Did you see that? Shut up. Yuna's got some interesting friends.
Let's plan our tech.
You can see inside from over here.
Great, thank you. I know we're at time.
Archers on that ridge will have a good view of the courtyard.
Bye.
And plenty of targets.
The bulk of our force should go there. We'll get on that roof, control the high ground.
You sound like Yuna.
She was a good teacher.
You men with me. Everyone else get to the ridge.
If the enemy sees me, take them down.
Understood. Good luck.
Тэд энэс мултар чадахгүй. Болоорчлал өрбө. Ой, өнөөхийг хардсан самрын шиг.
Sees me. Take them down.
Understood. Good luck.
Shut up!